get started, here I am preheating a pan and I am going to be adding 4 tablespoons of unsalted butter, and I'm just going to melt down the butter. Now that my butter is almost melted, I'm going to add 1 clove of garlic. I've just split it and mashed it right down the middle. And at this point, you can do this method, or you can just mince a clove of garlic and toss it in there. But I just like to flavor the butter. And I don't want to overcook this. I don't want the garlic to burn, so I'm going to start removing it. And as you can see on the right side of your screen, right there, my butter's starting to brown, so I need to work fast. I'm going to lower the heat. I was working with like a medium heat, but I'm going to lower it because as you can tell, my butter is starting to brown, but it's okay. So now I'm going to add 8 ounces of cream cheese, or you can add mascarpone cheese. I will say this, I typically use mascarpone cheese. I just like to use it, but I do know that cream cheese is a bit easier on the budget, so this is why I opted to show you the cream cheese version. You can use either or. Again, it's 8 ounces. So I've turned down my heat. Yes, don't worry, it looks like a hot mess. The butter's browning and the cream cheese just looks crazy. Keep at it. Embrace the ugly. Keep at it. So I'm going to take my whisk and I'm just going to keep breaking up my softened cream cheese. By the way, this was at room temperature for like a full day, for several hours. And it is softened, but once it hits the pan, you just have to work at it. And eventually, once you keep whisking, stirring, breaking it down, the butter and the cream cheese are going to combine and become a creamy consistency, just like this. So it took me like 5 minutes on a low heat. You don't want to work with a high heat when you're melting down the cheeses or the milk or anything, because you don't want to scald or burn it. So I managed to save the cream cheese from burning and my browning butter. Just remember, work with a low heat, pay attention. I kind of, again, was in a hurry. I'm doing too many things. So anyways, now I am going to add half and half, room temperature half and half, by the way. You don't want to add cold half and half because then you'll have a cream cheese problem. So now I'm just going to continue whisking until everything again gets creamy and smooth, and that's going to take a while. Remember, you're not working with a high heat and you want to whisk. So now that it's creamy, I'm going to add some freshly grated nutmeg. I don't measure this, I just do a couple swipes. It's probably less than 1/8 of a teaspoon. Now I'm also going to be adding some freshly cracked black pepper to this as well. The nutmeg, if you don't have it, you can exclude that and just add pepper, but I really do like the flavor that the nutmeg does give to a cream sauce. So if you have it, try to use it. So I'm just going to mix everything together, and at this point, the sauce is almost done. I'm just going to keep mixing and whisking just to make sure that everything is combined well, and it'll allow the nutmeg and the pepper to kind of marry into the cream sauce. So I have this again on a low heat. I want it at a low simmer, and now I am going to be adding some Parmesan cheese. Now, the amount is sort of up to you. You know, with a lot of my recipes, I like to leave room for you guys to make your own decisions here, but I'm going to be adding around 2.5 to 3 ounces of grated Parmesan cheese. This is a 5-ounce container. I'm using a little over half, maybe half. Again, if it's 5 ounces, that's 2.5. So again, it's up to you. And after the cheese melts, I'm going to whisk this in, make sure everything again is combined. It melts down, it's creamy and smooth, but once I get it to that point, you want to taste it. I find that the Parmesan cheese is salty enough with everything going on in this pot, but you might want to add a little more seasoning or flavoring, so it is up to you. This is a simple, basic sauce, and I want to show you, this is the perfect consistency. So now that my sauce is done, I wanted to show you that I have been boiling some fettuccine noodles. This is a 1-pound box of fettuccine noodles. I'm just going to cook them for the instructed amount of time that was on the box. And after these noodles are done, I am going to just drain all of the water out and add it right into my creamy Alfredo sauce. And that's it. You have fettuccine Alfredo. And sometimes I like to just mix it all together, just like this, add a little bit of parsley, and serve it as a side pasta dish to roasted chicken and vegetables or with a salad. But today, after I get everything all mixed together, I am going to add shrimp. Now, having said that, let's take time and just look at this beautiful pot of creamy Alfredo sauce and fettuccine noodles. I'm sorry, you can fast forward, but the sauce is perfect. The consistency is perfect. Again, and this is an easy version of Alfredo sauce. It's not authentic, but when you're in a pinch and you want a creamy sauce, I find that this is really easy. And again, cream cheese is easier on the budget, grocery wise, but if you can afford it, add some mascarpone cheese. So now I'm going to add my shrimp, and this is how I made my shrimp. I took a pound of shrimp, I cleaned it, deshelled it, took out the veins, gave it a rinse, patted the shrimp dry, and now all I'm going to do is just season it and let it marinate for a little bit. So I'm going to add around a tablespoon of olive oil. Then I'm going to add the seasonings of my choice. You can use salt and pepper, garlic powder, onion powder. I'm going to add 2 cloves of minced garlic. And to that, I am going to be adding a variety of seasonings. Again, I'm going to add some onion powder, and I'm just eyeballing this. I'm not really measuring. It's to your taste. So I'm going to add some onion powder. I'm also going to add one of my favorite go-to seasonings. That is Creole seasoning, Tony Chachere's. Again, you can use all seasoning, Lowry's, just salt and pepper. It's up to you. I'm not measuring this. I'm just going to shake this right on top of the shrimp. And then I'm going to add some salt-free lemon pepper. And then after adding, again, not really measuring, just doing things to taste or what seems to be right for me, I'm just going to give everything a good mix and just let that sit for like 15 minutes. And then after I give everything a good mix and I let it sort of marry and marinate together, I am going to saute it in a pan, and it's just as easy as that. And you don't have to use shrimp. You can dice up some chicken breast and season it the exact same way. I do it all the time. Or again, you can serve the fettuccine as a side pasta and serve it alongside roasted chicken, salmon, a nice juicy steak. It's up to you. So now in goes my shrimp into a skillet, and I'm not even going to cook this for 5 minutes. This is sort of at a high heat. It's like a medium high heat, and shrimp at room temperature will cook fairly quick. You just want, as you can see, the tails are starting to curl and turn pink. Basically, you know the shrimp is going to be done when it's all pink and it's not translucent. So my shrimp is done. I'm going to remove it from the heat and set it aside until I need it. And obviously my pasta is done, so I am going to place it right into my pasta and give everything a mix. And this dinner took me less than like 25 minutes to make. Maybe a little longer because I was filming, but again, I'm just going to mix the shrimp into my pasta and dinner is served. It's so easy. It's so delicious. And again, this is not an authentic Alfredo sauce, but it really is tasty. And when you're in a hurry to get dinner done and you want a creamy Alfredo sauce that's easy on the budget, this is a pretty good recipe to try. But if you do get the chance to splurge, try it with mascarpone cheese. It's really good. So now that everything is mixed, I am just going to serve a bowl and let everyone have dinner. And of course, a good pasta dish does go well with some crusty, garlicky butter bread or a side salad, but today it's just a delicious bowl of fettuccine Alfredo with shrimp, and my guys are not complaining. I also want to mention that the ingredients and measurements are in the description below this video. So I hope you give this recipe a try. I hope you like it, and thanks for watching.